Okay. Well, thanks. And I just would love to ask you a few questions about your experiences and allow you to share.
Oh, that would be great. It's always lovely speaking with you, Lisa.
You too, Allie. Okay, so tell me just a little bit about where you were before we started doing some collaboration together and what you were experiencing.
Well, I guess for me, it's always been, for as long as I can remember, even way back to childhood, has been digestive issues. I've got a very high metabolic system. I've always been able to eat what I like. I've never really put on weight, which really annoys most people. But my digestive system can't cope with what I can put in my face, which is very frustrating. And for most of my life, I'd have to say, because of that, I didn't always eat well. Now, when I was younger, it was typical IBS symptoms, and with stress, it would get worse. Fast forward to postmenopausal years, and the trigger of the trauma of my mum's passing and then injuring my back, not a major injury, but it was like all of it came tumbling at once. I got severe digestive issues. And I just found that whatever I was thinking I should do, I just didn't have the self discipline. As soon as I felt emotional or stressed, I would reach for the things that I knew wouldn't be good for me. So that's where I was at. And yet, I would have to say, my own self awareness and mindfulness practice that I've developed in my own line of work, I've got a lot better. I can absolutely say that choosing to work with you as a coach changed everything. I just did not have the discipline or the courage to try things out the way you encouraged me.
Oh, awesome. What were other things along the way that you tried to overcome your digestive issues? Anything
A
specific?
lot, actually. I'll try and remember obvious ones which people might have tried. Aloe vera juice. I was on that for a long time, and I really did find that that helped. Seems to reduce inflammation and transit. Um, Flotation therapy, meditation, every kind of supplement that is supposed to help with transit. That was one big problem for me with having digestive issues. And also fasting, cleanses. I don't think there isn't anything I didn't try,
I
to be
don't-
honest. I don't think, and you know me well enough, is just, I think it was more it was actually something that most people wouldn't consider. You helped me get back in my body. Now, that might sound weird, but anybody that's a fan of Dr. Zach Bush will know what I mean, is that we can spend so much time in our heads that I didn't really respect my body or take care of it when she was sending me very clear signals, stop doing that, I'm not liking it. So
Hmm.
I think the grounding, all of your practices and making them a daily practice, that was a game changer for me.
Okay. So, what made you feel like I would be able to help you, to support you?
Well, that's really easy because you're a wonderful combination of very real, very approachable, very compassionate, but bloody no nonsense. And I've always liked that, is that you know when to give that firm hand of guidance or an observation back that maybe you can tell that I'm trying to avoid something or resist something. Um, because I think that's why the coaching is, and but your tracker, it's the little things that you help us with. Um, I'm not one for doing that, and I can get a bit forgetful, forgetting how helpful herbal teas. That's a new discovery. Bearing how long we've worked together for a long time, even realizing that two specific herbal teas have really, really helped me. So it's not just your coaching, because that might not be available for everybody. But for those that want to work with you, little things like your tracker and your assessment and reset, all of these things just help somebody look at themselves a little bit more honestly,
Mhm.
I think.
Yeah, lovely. Awesome. Now, what's the impact on your day-to-day life now?
I can't believe how disciplined I am. It's just, it's like second nature. You know, you brush your teeth, you make your coffee when you get up, or you do certain things effortlessly. It's become part of my way of being, and also how I've used my own practices to really tune in more to my relationship with my body. I think that's a fundamental one. Is people seem to think you can just take a tablet or you can just do one thing and we fix things. We're highly complex beings, you know, and there's such a strong connection between our emotions and what we choose to eat,
Yeah.
how we choose to eat, what time of day. And when you start to understand that, you could have one or two significant habits that are really destructive, but they, you can guarantee they'll be the ones that you're most attached to for emotional comfort, as an example.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me about what's changed for you, or yeah, what's changed with compared to where you were before and the digestive issues and all. Tell me what's new for you, how you're
Do you
feeling
mean
now.
as in the benefits?
Yeah.
The benefits I've gained?
Yes.
Well, first of all, for me, is a massive reduction in pain, huge reduction in pain, um, much more functional gut function. I'm able to enjoy a wider range of foods that I hadn't really bothered to even try before. Um, I embraced the attitude that anything that I noticed my body didn't like, I wouldn't get into, oh, I was having to give it up. I just thought, well, it's like sticking needles in your eyes. Why would you take something if you're going to suffer so much? I just said I was ready to let it go. And that somehow that language helped me. So my vitality's better, I sleep better, but the big thing for me is the huge reduction in pain and being able to eat without suffering through carelessness. Because I've got to be honest, one of the things I've learned is I was facilitating most of my suffering when it comes to diet and nutrition. And I think if we're all brutally honest with ourselves, we know that we do that. And I think if you come from giving up, it's why so many diets don't work. But if you come from, as you say, grounding, connecting yourself as a human being with nature, I've always done that. That's something you and I share. And I can't encourage people enough to start having a more loving relationship with their body. They might start to find that their health and well-being physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually will just develop hand in hand.
Mm. Yes. It's so important. And like as Zach Bush said, we store all this stuff and many other practitioners, we store all this emotional stuff in our body, which becomes manifest as pain and disease and things. And
Yes.
nature is a powerful healer and it allows us to transmute that but our lifestyles don't include that. So we have to create that for ourselves and use um, our intuition, as you so powerfully do, at understanding deeply what's going on within us. And you're a master. So, okay,
Thank you.
what?
I think you also help me to harness my own natural abilities when it comes to healing. And I think that for me, what this session is a thank you, not just to you, but in letting people know that sometimes where the greater resistance is to change, is why people do work with coaches. It's why so many people are offering their talents out in the world. And I think the difference with yourself is you don't have a specific belief system that you imprint on people. if you know what I mean. I think there are people out there that can take that approach. You just listen and observe and reflect and share, and then we get feedback, and then we do the same again. And it's that relationship, I think, that helps someone understand that they can get out of their comfort zone, even if that comfort zone isn't comfortable with their health issues. We can be more attached to them than we think. So I think that's what I feel is important to get across to people today, is that you allow me as your client to have a say in my healing path, but most importantly, I don't feel pushed, judged, or told to do anything, because I don't particularly like working with coaches, because I'm that kind of person. I like to do everything myself. So it's really nice on this. I thought, no, I need some help to actually, for the transformation. And that's what people come to you for, is, I can guarantee that, as I've shared, I've had a significant transformation.
Oh, oh, beautiful, beautiful. So, what would you say to other people who may be watching this, who are thinking about working with me and going through this transformational process? What would you say to them if they are sort of on the fence?
Jump off the fence with both feet and jump in, because you do offer, a bit like going to a restaurant and you think, oh, I haven't been before, don't know if I want to have go for dinner. Start with a starter, start with your tracker or your reset, or there's so many things that you offer so generously for free. And if they've tried that, they have to really ask themselves, how much longer are they going to put up with being miserable with whatever it is they're suffering with, and whatever they've tried hasn't worked. Invest in themselves. We invest in beauty, we invest in entertainment, we invest in so many things without thinking about it, nails, hair, whatever. But when it comes to wellness, we can be so, I think, stingy with ourselves. And I include myself on that. It took me a while before I thought, yes, I'll work with Lisa as a coach, but it's the best investment I ever made, because I've made that transformation, because some of the changes you made, I hadn't even thought of. So I would just say, you're not going to change anything without changing something yourself. And it's worth every investment. And how much they invest is up to them.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you. Thank you
You're
so
welcome.
much for sharing. And I'm thrilled that who you are, what I've gained from working with you, and what you've gained as well. It's a beautiful friendship.
It is. And, the whole community that you're building is, you know, for predominantly the women that are connecting with you, is, especially when you get to our age group, it's everything's so tiring.
Mm.
And, it's just so nice to suddenly find that you can make changes that give you your vitality back. And I know that's a big part of your brand name. That's why I love it, because if there's something that we all love, is when we feel vitality. So, yeah, thank you. Always nice spending time with you.
Lovely. Thanks so much. Speak
You're
soon.
welcome, Lisa. Bye.